Vatsinamanda, 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 Vatsinamanda,
Good morning. My name is Andrew, and I would like to welcome you to today's morning service. We will begin our service with opening meditation, followed by Nembutsu. Please join me in placing your hands together in Gasho.
Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Namanda Vatsinamanda.
Good morning. Welcome today. And as you know, today we're also having our mochisuki over in the gym area, so it's really nice for you to come this morning. We do have some visitors. Sorry to call you guys out, but you can just smile and wave as well. We have Lauren, Isa, Emmy, Andrew, Ethan from Lodi Academy, and they're seniors here visiting. They are here for a world religion class. So we welcome you here, and we hope that you find the time to come back again. Thank you.
Please rise for the singing of the Gatha, The Texture of Life, on page 221 of the service book, followed by the recitation of Our Pledge and Nembutsu on the inside of the back cover.
Our pledge. Breaking out of my shell, I will share a warm smile and speak gentle words, just like the kind Buddha. Not becoming lost in my greed, anger, and ignorance, I shall think and act with an open mind, just like the calm and peaceful Buddha. Not putting myself first, I will share in the joy and sadness of others, just like the compassionate Buddha. Realizing the gift of life I have received, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha who tirelessly works to liberate all. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namu Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu.
Please join us in the chanting of our sutra, Sanbutsuge, on page 82 of the service book. During the sutra chanting, we will have oshoko or incense offering by the following: school student Chloe Ota, adult Adele Cafese. Did I say it right, Adele? Or did I chop it? No. And yeah, so Chloe, I'll let you know when it's time to go, okay?
고갱기김 이지무곡 뇨세예묘 무요도샤 니지가츠마니 슈고엔요 가이시츠원뱀 윤야구주목 뇨다요겐 조세무린 쇼가쿠다yon 고두지보 가이몬 쇼진 산마이지엠 이도구무료 슈쇼케우 진타이젠넨 쇼 그진진노 그고가이타이 무묘요그누 세손요무 니노시심 진토구무료 그근고다이 지혜지묘 고묘위송 신도다이센 강가사붓 사이쇼 가도쇼짐 미프게닷 프세조이 가이닌 쇼진 뇨세산마이 지혜이조 고세도구붓 불교시간 이사이구구 이사다얀 게시우붓 야크센 무료다이쇼 슈녀고잡 그요이사이 시도쇼붓 분녀그도 겐쇼프격 인여고잠 쇼부츠세가임 부후가게 무슈 仏道光明師匠変師諸国行政精進一時難量量が差仏国土第一公衆奇妙道場調節国領内四二東村加藤愛民道達威祭地方大小新熱症状伊藤が国慶楽和の古物神妙聖が新書発願の日力少所欲地方生存知恵無限浄土が信行けど心身食読中家業精進忍術普賢ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブがんにしくどく平等聖祭東本菩提心お浄安楽ナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツナマンダブツ
We will now listen to a Dharma message by Reverend Candace Shibata.
Okay, good morning, everyone. So thank you so much for coming, and of course, if you are here early, helping with the mochi making in the gym. And I know we have a very busy day, but actually today's message was inspired by our event, mochi making, Actually a YBA conference, a Young Buddhist Association conference that I spoke at in Fresno in 2017, so it feels like a really long time ago, in which their theme was, at the time, was let's stick together like Gohan. So let's stick together like rice, okay? So I felt like, oh, this is a great time to share some of these old thoughts that I had back in 2017. And so at that time, when I heard of their theme and I was thinking about my message, I thought about the song, Had a Friend in Me, and also for maybe the parents or you Lionel Richie fans, Stuck on You. So I was kind of thinking about this idea about sticking together. So of course, I had to think about food, especially a hot bowl of rice, which we know we make the mochi with the sweet rice, and it gets pounded into a really, really sticky little patty. So as we know, rice is a major staple in many Asian cultures, and sometimes our meals aren't complete without it. I often think of rice as a comfort food as well. So when my sister Tiffany and I weren't feeling well, our mom used to serve us ochazuke. Ochazuke? How many of you have had ochazuke before? Okay, so many of you have. So it's a bowl of hot rice, and we add tea to that, and sometimes it's served with the furikake seasoning, or takuan, which is the, well, we used to call it stinky yellow things. So it's a daikon radish that's pickled, because if you've had takuan before, you know it has a very distinct aroma, but it's always one of my favorites when I don't feel good, or umeboshi, the very salty pickled plum as well. And so it always seemed to calm my tummy when it was upset. So as we know, rice comes in different forms too. There's long or short grains, which affects how dry or sticky it is. So have you ever wondered what makes rice so sticky? Have you ever really thought about that? You just normally eat it and that's it? So there's this starch called, I think it's amylopectin. So it's a starch in short grain rice. And such as Japanese varieties, it gets broken down once it's boiled in hot water. And this breaks down the starch molecules, which makes rice become soft or mushy or kind of sticky. So I bet you didn't know that you were going to get a chemistry lesson today too. So sticking together, it's a major tenet in Buddhism, which is commonly heard as interdependence. And we may even call it dependent origination. Excuse me. So this means that every person, place, and thing are entirely dependent on others. So other people and other things as a necessary condition for its existence. So this means that we're all profoundly connected to one another, and all of our actions, whether or not we know another person, but all of our actions have an effect on others as well. So let me give you an example, which I've told you before, and again, it might be very familiar to you. So again, all too often we tend to eat our food without really acknowledging all of the conditions it takes to really consume that particular meal. So if we reflect upon even just one bowl of rice or maybe even one little small mochi patty, it takes countless conditions for even just one little grain of rice, teeny tiny grain of rice. So these necessary conditions can include the rice seedlings, soil, water, the sun, the farmers to plant those little seedlings and tend to them and harvest them, the people and machinery to remove the rice from the husk, the materials to package the rice, the truck that delivers and transports this rice to the store. And of course, the list goes on and on and on. And if we stop to think about all of these conditions before we ate, we'd never be able to eat because the list would go on and on and on. They're countless. And although we can acknowledge interdependence or dependent origination in our lives, to fully grasp this profound teaching of interdependence, I think it's really, really difficult to just wrap our head around. And so in the spirit of today, I wore my wagesa, which has, all of the different fruits, vegetables, and even animals that sacrifice their lives to really sustain my life. And of course, wagesa or manto shikisho it shows that we're a part of this Sangha together, okay? So as I was doing research, again, about interdependence or dependent origination, I found a sutra, a Buddhist sutra, and we know sutras as the words of the Buddha or teachings of the Buddha. And in this particular sutra, it's ironically called the Rice Stalk Sutra. So in this sutra, the Buddha's disciple Ananda was having a conversation with the Buddha. And you'll notice if you read the sutras, Ananda is a disciple who is commonly referred to as the Buddha's attendant or right-hand person. So one day Ananda passed by an archery show while he was out on his alms rounds. On his return, he said to the Buddha, "I saw a wonderful feat today. A man shot an arrow right through a tiny keyhole from a great distance away. Is that not difficult?" The Buddha answered, "It certainly is, but there is something else even more difficult than that." "Well, what can be more difficult than shooting an arrow through a tiny keyhole?" Ananda asked skeptically. "Let's say someone pulled a strand of hair, and split it into 100 parts, then shot one of those parts. So can you imagine taking one little strand of hair and cutting it into like 100 little split ends? So just think of that. Wouldn't you agree that this is millions times more difficult than what you saw? To understand, to accept, and to believe the truth of dependent origination is the most difficult task in the world." After hearing this, Ananda nodded his head and agreed. So what this sutra is teaching us is about this profound truth about interdependence. And the Buddha realized this truth following his enlightenment and was awakened to the truth of cause and effect. The Buddha then dedicated his life in sharing the truth with others. The Rice Straw Sutra says, to see dependent origination is to see the Dharma, which is the teachings. To see the Dharma is to see the Buddha. This shows us how profound and difficult it is to really understand dependent origination. So, excuse me, let's make our way back to food. So containing rice, to see how this even relates to the things that we eat. So how many of you like sushi? Okay. And so there's various ingredients, especially maki sushi, which is just the rolled sushi roll with so many different things inside. How many of you like the Korean rice dish bibimbap? Okay, lots of hands. Okay, so that's the Korean flavored meat and assorted veggies that are all mixed together. And how many of you have had Okinawan favorite taco rice? No, okay, nobody besides me? Basically, it's a better rice with taco stuff on top, like the taco meat, lettuce, salsa, cheese. I had that in Okinawa before, so try it. Don't knock it till you try it. So these three rice dishes reflect interdependence as well. So individually, you can think about all the different ingredients in these dishes, which are, of course, yummy on their own. However, when brought together in each recipe, the ingredients affect the taste of the other food and the other components, which complements it very well. And because of these marrying of flavors, it becomes a delicious dish that we can gratefully enjoy. So again, this is just another tenet in Buddhism about sticking together like rice. So in the Buddhist tradition, of course, we take refuge in the three treasures, which we know are the Buddha and the Dharma and the Sangha. So the teachings of the Buddha are the Dharma, and the Sangha is the group of Buddhist followers. So when we commit ourselves to these three jewels of Buddhism, or treasures, it bonds us together as fellow Buddhists all over the world, even our friends who might be Zen practitioners or other schools of Buddhism as well. And so these three components, they really do tie us together. And so when you think about dependent origination or interdependence about either our food or about us as a community, hopefully we can really think about sticking together, working with one another for this great cause of the temple, the Sangha, so that we can continue to share these wonderful teachings with others in the future as well. So in closing, I just want to thank all of you for the opportunity to share my thoughts today. And of course, thank you to our visitors who are here. And I hope I didn't make you too hungry. I know when I was chanting, my stomach was growling. So I apologize if you heard it in the microphone. But again, when we think about maybe that lunch that we're going to enjoy or the mochi that we're going to have a little bit later, think about and keep in mind the interdependence that comes together that allows us to be able to enjoy our lives, sustain our lives, and of course to be able to profoundly stick together as members of the teachings of the Buddha. So please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu.
Please rise for the last Gatha, last singing of our Gatha, Praise to Buddha, in your service book on page 203. We will sing verses 1 through 3. Again, that's page 203. Followed by the recitation of the Golden Chain and Nembutsu on page 5.
Golden chain. I am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu.
So for the students that are visiting today, there's a lot of terminology that gets used that we all use all the time. But just so that, if you have to write it down, the Dharma are the lessons, the teachings of the Buddha. Okay, the Sangha is everybody that's part of our, I guess you could call it a group or congregation if you want to use a Western term. And if you notice, the service is kind of Western, in the sense that we sing songs, we play an organ, which is a very Western type of service, but it has a lot of elements that have come from Japan. The sutra chantings are tradition at our Honganji, our home temple in Japan. Delivery of a message, a dharma, a teaching message is something that is also traditional. Offering incense is, and Reverend Shibata can explain that to you afterwards. But these are all elements, but pews, buildings, organ, singing It's all kind of very Western, but that's the blend of Jodo Shinshu and American culture, right? Okay. Just to kind of, well, what are they talking about? So, and then if you noticed, students, if you noticed, you should look at who writes these gathas. Nembutsu is the gatha that I played to when you guys did your meditation, opening meditation. And then you sang Texture of Life, right? Texture of the Life. If you look at who wrote that, it was written by a lady named Chizu Iwanaga. She actually is a Stockton native, right? She grew up here in Stockton. So you have roots to many of the gathas that are in that book. So interesting tidbit for you guys today. So for announcements, we have our wonderful crab feed coming up on January 11th. $75 for adults, $35 for kids 10 and under. Please see the flyer in the Karma. Please call the office if you would like to make a reservation. I believe they will reserve a specific area if you have a group of 8 or larger. We're always grateful for your donations to our raffle. So please, if you would like to provide a donation, provide it to Sachi Enokira or Candy Hayashi. The Sangha Club is having a sock and underwear collection until December 8th for children 0 to 18 years. Donations will be given to the Mary Graham Children's Shelter. Please bring your donations to the Hondo before service, and if you saw that big box on the table in the entryway, that's where you put your stuff. So I have an example. This is part of my donation. I didn't want to hold up the underwear, so I'm holding up the socks, okay? So what if we were to say, Sangha Club would like to donate 1,000 pieces to the Mary Graham Children's Shelter? It's not unachievable because only 83 people have to buy a package of 12 socks, and you've got 1,000 pairs of socks, right? So it's not insurmountable to have these wonderful kids and support what they're doing. So please bring your donations by December 8th, and let's put them well over 1,000 pieces to donate to Mary Graham. I think that would be absolutely fantastic, right? Thanks, thumbs up. Okay, so Reverend Candace Shibata's book club will meet again on November 20th. That's this week, huh? This Wednesday at 6:30. Due to the Thanksgiving holiday, is online, so if you're interested in joining, please contact the office and you will receive the Zoom link. The cans and bottles are now being collected by the YBA. If you would like to help the environment, please leave your recyclable cans and bottles under the carport by the white bin. Another thing that is going on with YBA is they've also begun their annual toy drive for our county child protective services. They've been doing this for a long time, huh? Since you were in YBA? Yeah, so it's a long time. So please bring your donation of new toys, not gift wrapped, because they do need to know what age it's going to on any Sunday through 12/8, and you can give it to any Dharma school student. There are boxes in their classrooms, and they can deposit for you. Let's help during this holiday season to help the children's holiday be a little bit brighter. So I hope you'll do that. And for the older kids, a toy may not be what they're looking for if they're teenagers, right? They want gift cards, right? So they are collecting cash donations for gift cards. And perhaps let's make a goal for them too. Maybe not 1,000. We'll make the goal 500. So let's try to donate not only toys, but maybe give them about $500. I think they've gotten about halfway there in the past. So let's see if we can bump that up and show our community that we really support them. So the Mary Graham's Children's Shelter and the Child Protective Services of San Joaquin County. Are there any other announcements, Mike?
If you read the Wheel of Dharma, the BCA newsletter for this month, 200 Miles of Compassion fundraiser. This is for Sacramento teen who's fighting childhood cancer. So David Thole from the Fresno Between is doing a run from Fresno to Sacramento. During his run, he'll be visiting 5 of the Northern California temples. He's scheduled to be here at the Stockton Temple on Thursday. It's estimated to be from 3 to 5. So if you can help support him by being here, or you can give donations through the GoFundMe drive. So again, it's Thursday, estimated time is 3 to 5. Thank you.
For those of you who might want to support Nathan, the GoFundMe will go directly towards Nathan's family, and then the Mama Bears, it's an organization that supports individuals or children with cancer. So donations will be split equally between those two. We'll go ahead and send out an email blast so that everybody has that link to that GoFundMe. Okay, so please consider thinking about supporting this young individual who is actually a member, again, of our sister temple in Sacramento. Okay, thank you. So we'll send that out this week. Thank you.
It's a great show of interdependence and helping out other sanghas that are related to us. Thank you again for joining us today, especially the students or the seniors. Good luck on the rest of your senior year at Lodi Academy, and thank you for being part of our sangha today. Please observe good etiquette and do not enter the aisle before the row in front of you. Those students who did not offer incense before the service are asked to do so before leaving the hondo, and maybe check in with your teachers to see if you're going to go help out with Mochi Suki or not. All right, thank you for coming.